Hey guys, it's been a mad rush on this thing. Last couple of weeks especially, I am getting this car Mac ready for a long road trip. I'm doing the Hill Country Rally I leave in like 2 days. So I had a long list, about 35 items, and some of them were super easy, some of them were pretty complex. So I thought this week I would just give you the highlights of what I've done. There's 2 things I didn't get done, but I'll tell you that at the end. I think the car's ready. I'm pretty confident it's gonna make it to the rally and it's gonna be an epic road trip. So here's what's new. The car is super filthy. I've been doing tons of test drives and it's just got dirt all over it. The back wheels especially, it just drips and dirt. So tomorrow is a wash day. Clean up the wheels, get the windows clean so I can see out of them again. Some of you may have already noticed, but I have windshield wipers now. This is critical for doing a trip that might have a little bit of rain. You never know. In March, you're probably going to get rain somewhere across the country. It was a real challenge to get the wipers working because there's 20 years difference between the wiper motor and this backdated windshield wiper switch. It has 3 positions and then off. I was able to get all 3 speeds to work and the park function. Here's the cheat code on that wiring if you're interested. From a 69 to 73 long hood switch to an 89 wiper motor. I was pretty reluctant to put the factory wiper motor assembly in. It is built like a tank. It's actually pretty heavy, but I had no other solution, so I put it in, but I did make it more lightweight. And I think in the future, I'm gonna replace the iron core motor with a more modern lightweight version. And then while we're here, we can talk about this is my dash vent. I had done a video a few weeks ago about directing all the vent air from the cowl into this vent right here. So this is a prototype. It's got a 3D printed bezel, which is not the right color, but that's just a prototype in PLA. And then there's also a piece behind there, which is also a prototype. It's in orange. That is where the ducts come in. This has been working great. I can close off the airflow and then I can open it up again and it's nice airflow right at your face. It's perfect. Love it. I also put the glove box in even though there's no door. I at least have somewhere to put my phone and some things. Another really crucial thing is this heater control lever. So I have my heat exchangers connected, actually just the passenger side. But what I've done is I've plumbed it directly to the defroster vent because what I'm mostly concerned with is driving in a fogged up windshield. So my ducting goes right to the defroster. It works really well. And then that'll also give me like a little bit of heat on cold days. This is my defroster heat and then this is my fresh air that goes right from my adapter right into that clock face. It comes from both sides, but that side's not really visible. This side, you can easily see it. A lot of crazy stuff here with the exhaust system. This is not a long hood exhaust, but I made it work anyways. So basically I had to make some adapters that go from these are GHL heat exchangers. It comes out of here, it makes a little U-turn, flex pipe into the fan assembly from the top. That was all custom. Like I said, I only have the left side connected. It's going to be a lot harder to connect the right side. And for this trip, I'm pretty comfortable with just having driver heat, but we'll see how we do. That's how the heat is connected right to the engine fan or the alternator fan. The air gets pumped into that duct. It goes through the side vent and then into that heat exchanger. And that is going, like I said, directly to my defroster, the most important thing on a cold morning. Not much has changed with the engine. I've just been tuning a little bit, driving it. Everything has been tuned on the street. I have not been to a dyno yet, but it's running great. I also got my spare tire loaded in. I don't have my toolkit with the jack and everything, but I'll get that in here before I go. This is interesting because my front oil cooler actually lifts the tire up a little bit more than stock, but there's still plenty of space for the space saver. And my oil cooler is completely functional now. The lines are connected and You can't really see them. They don't hang down below the bumper, but they're underneath there. I think you've seen these already if you watched the door strap video. This is new too. So this is a custom door release with a little arrow from Aircraft Spruce. It's kind of fun. So to get out, you just open it like that. I put a new speedometer cable in. It's a mechanical speedo. At least I have some idea how fast I'm going. All the gauges are working perfectly. Last week's video was how to make these work using my computer-controlled engine. Another important thing here with my pedal assembly, this is a very custom pedal assembly with dual master cylinders, but this time I added a little tab here on the top of my pedal box. This has a nylon bolt, kind of like the factory pedal stop. So now when I go full throttle, the pedal will hit this bolt, and I have it adjusted so that 100% throttle with the butterflies all the way open stops right there. So you can hit the pedal as hard as you want and it will not damage the throttle bodies or the linkage system. So I really like that. I'm a lot more confident to just mash the throttle now that I know it's not going to break anything. All my pedals have a nice stop. The clutch also has a stop on the floor. You can hear that click. It's really important from a driving point of view that your pedals have a good feel. So I've got everything adjusted, you know, for heel toe, so I can drive this car really well. The other thing is, this is new too. This is a little 3D printed part that we made. This is to cover up a stud. There is a stud that pokes out here where the normal wooden toe boards mount. That stud kept getting stuck on my foot especially when you wear sandals. Sometimes it would catch on there and it would make releasing the clutch even harder. So this covers up the stud without cutting it off. And it also serves as a little bit of a heel rest. So I can feel that with my heel. So when I want to feather the clutch or go uphill or something, I can use this as a pivot. And instead of using your whole leg to control the clutch, you can just use your ankle. Gives you a lot more control of the clutch. Kind of an added benefit having that there. So I really like it. The passenger side has that same stud, but I haven't put the part on there yet. And then while we're here on the interior, this is also new. These sun visors, I picked them up at the swap meet. These are the factory mechanisms, but these have been reupholstered in kind of a hard leather. So they don't look original, but they're actually not bad for this car, you know, no headline or anything like that. It was missing one of the pivots, so I had to make my own pivot just for this side. I'll probably 3D print that too, but it's going to take a little time to create that shape. That's kind of a tricky shape to model. So I'll replace that when the time comes, but for now, I can drive without the sun being in my eyes, which is great. And they stay up. Another big one are these window straps. There are no regulators in the door, and this is in place of the wind-up mechanism. So in order to raise the window up and down, this is kind of like the early 911R style. It just has a strap with two holes. Right now I only have two holes, one for up and one for down. So it might be easier to see on the other side. This one is black, but this, you have a strap to pull. You can push the window down, and then when it's time to go up, just lift the window up, and then this goes right on there like that. That is the main reason why I'm not running door cards. You need to be able to reach inside here and pull this portion of the strap if the window is stuck in the up position. So one, you get extra storage in here, which is kind of nice. But two, you need to be able to reach in there and manually pull the window down. The passenger side is brown, a little easier to see. This is from a guitar. This is the guitar strap button. And then this piece is custom. I'll probably do something more elaborate in the future with something that's maybe a little longer that kind of covers this whole area and dresses it a little bit. So also if you stick your arm out the window, it's not so much sharp metal. This belt on this side is a little bit more supple, a little bit easier to use. That's how you keep the windows up. Then from outside the car, you can see that strap and its like curved piece. You can kind of see it from outside the car, but it's not bad. I did replace this window wiper because it was shot before. And I also did new quarter window rubbers. This was really bad before. It was cracked and not good at all. So this had some wind noise back here. Plus it just looked bad. So this has all been taken care of. I got the trim lined up reasonably well on this side. I'm not happy with the other side. This is a new window wiper here too. This mismatch here drives me nuts, but it's gonna take a whole day to fix that. I gotta take and re-massage all of this area. So don't have time for that, but it's functional and there's a new rubber on there. So that is gonna work much better. These are pop-out windows, so there's a latch in there where you can extend that out. So what I found is with the windows up and my dash vent open, I can get substantial airflow with the quarter windows open and the dash vent open, and it's not bad. I can't wait for a hot day. Hard to show you guys here, but the oil tank had a broken sending unit. I took apart the whole sending unit, soldered some wires, and now I have a working oil level gauge too. I also got the ignition key to work in all the doors. So I can lock and unlock the doors. With the windows up and strapped in, you know, it's not 100% secure, but it's not too bad either. You'd be hard pressed to push that window down. So with the car locked, I think it's pretty safe now. This way means go towards the front. I also glued a foam block on the bottom in case the window does come crashing down. It's just gonna have a little bumper there to keep it from hitting the bottom of the door. There are no more plastic parts of my bell crank system. This was plastic. This is machined aluminum, so this was a prototype as well, but at least it can handle some high temperature. Same is true for all this bell crank assembly. It's all still a prototype, but it's not susceptible to temperature. The bearings in this thing are both ball and needle style, so this thing will never bind. It's working out really well. And here in the front, it's gonna be a little hard to see, but I put the strut covers on. The conies are adjustable, and I had the covers off when I was making some adjustments, but this cover protects it from road debris and water and all that stuff. So both of those are put on both sides. I replaced the ground straps, both at the battery and at the transmission. The car was having some warnings when you start it when it's hot. The ECU voltage was dropping below the 10 volt threshold. So I measured the voltage drop across the grounds and I improved it from like 0.4 volts to 0.2 volts. EFI is really sensitive to voltage, and if the voltage goes too low, it has a hard time understanding when to fire the engine. So that was an issue. The other thing I've done in the software is I've cracked open the idle control valve even when the engine's hot, because the pumping effort when the engine's warm and the throttle blades are completely closed is very, very high. The Kinslers have almost a perfect seal when they close. So there's a bypass through the idle control valve. If you sneak air in there, it lets the engine crank much better. So I'm getting 200 RPM cranking speeds, and I'm getting the voltage over 10 volts now. So that's fixed. I adjusted the headlights. They were both kind of pointed down and to the right, very much down. So these, I know you guys hate my headlights, the sugar scoops, but I need them to do something. And eventually I have something in store for you guys, even better than H4s. They're coming, don't worry. I programmed a check engine light. The oil pressure light works with oil pressure failure, but it also now works for, it blinks a slow speed if it's low fuel pressure, and it blinks a little bit faster if it's low voltage. It's a big red light on the oil gauge. I think it also comes on if you hit the rev limiter. It'll turn red. The tachometer is much bigger. It's right there anyways. But for whatever reason, you're not paying attention, that thing will turn red. So that's configured. I got 35 items basically done. And if you're interested in more detail on any of those, let me know in the comments below. I can do more detail. But I needed to really do a full court press. The nice thing about these events and rallies and get-togethers, whatever you want to call it, is it does kind of push you to get the car more finished. This car will always be a toy. It's never going to be a Sunday driver. It is a Spirit Canyon track type car, but it's gotten a lot more comfortable, believe it or not. It's going to be a really fun trip. I almost forgot, the two things I did not get working are the horn. Turns out the horn itself was bad. If you connect this thing directly to the battery, it sometimes doesn't work at all. Sometimes it makes a little noise, but there's two of them here and both of them don't work correctly. So I don't know, I still have a day left. I could probably go to O'Reilly and just pick up a standard horn and have some kind of, horn. The other thing I didn't get connected, which would be nice, especially driving at night, there's no interior lights, like dome lights in the roof area are not there. I have some, so if there's time, I will connect those. I have the gauge lights work, the instrument lights, but if you are opening the door and those lights aren't on yet, it's like pitch black inside. So I would like to get some rudimentary dome lighting in the cabin. Thanks again for watching the progress. When I get back from the trip, I'm gonna do a whole overview of all the custom modifications on this car, because there's a massive amount of custom parts on this thing. And I'm gonna try to give you guys the phases. Right now we're like in phase 2. Phase 3 is coming, and I'll try to outline how far we've come. Remember, this was a crash shell $4,000 car. It was a 912 for a little while. Now it's running this ITB 3.2, and there's still a lot more to go. So even though it's a super enjoyable car, it's got a lot more to go. So thanks again for watching my progress on this car. Wish me luck at the rally. If you see me there, please stop me and say hello. Come check out the car, and we'll go over it in person. But yeah, I really like this car.